today. We are here, as you know, for a news conference on Samantha Robinson, and Chief Zudema will be speaking, as well as a special agent in charge, Stanley Metter, with the FBI's Richmond field office. And after they have comments, they'll both be taking questions.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Zudema, Chief of Police for the Lynchburg Police Department, and thank you for coming today. I'm joined by Special Agent in Charge Stanley Metter of FBI's Richmond field office, along with Phil Alhusen from the FBI, as well as several LPD staff members. On January 21st, 2021, Samantha Robinson was killed by a stray bullet as she was simply driving down 12th Street in the middle of the afternoon. This was a tragic incident where one of our residents was the innocent victim of a senseless act of violence. This could have been you, a neighbor, or one of your loved ones. This type of reckless behavior is absolutely unacceptable in our community. Our hearts continue to be with Samantha's family as we work together to bring justice for her. We have a lot of very dedicated women and men who have spent countless hours investigating this tragic crime. We will continue to do so until this case is solved. Samantha and her family deserve nothing less. We are committed to doing everything within our power to bring the perpetrators of these crimes to justice. But to do that, we need your help. Very simple. Our ability to solve these and other crimes and hold perpetrators accountable is directly linked to the level of cooperation we receive from our community. We know there are people out there with information, and we need you to come forward. Again, I want to repeat that. We know there are people out there with information, and we need all of you to come forward. If Samantha was your loved one, ask yourself what you would want the members of this community to do. To that end, I would like to introduce SAC Metter, who will share some additional information about resources the FBI is bringing to this investigation. Stanley?
Thank you, Chief. Partnerships are invaluable to our investigations. They're also important for us as the FBI and law enforcement to connect with the community. We are here today because our community, more importantly, a young family, has lost a young mother to a violent crime that did not need to happen. We are bringing what resources we have to bear to continue our partnership with the Lynchburg Police Department to find those individuals responsible for Samantha's murder. Today, we are offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of those individuals responsible for this violent crime. For those individuals that may have information regarding this murder, no bit of information is too insignificant. If you have any information, which may not include the full story of what occurred here, any information, call us and provide that information and allow us to take your information and put it together with what we have to hold these folks accountable and bring them to justice. For those who have information, the question that's often asked is, can we be anonymous? Our request to you today is for those individuals that have information, pick up the telephone and call us. You can remain anonymous. Let's start the conversation. As we partner with our law enforcement partners, we partner with the community. We ask the community, we need your help. The individual or individuals responsible for this act are not above the law. Help us bring justice to the community and, more importantly, to the family for what has occurred here. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. As you heard, this is an investigation, obviously, that has impacted our community and specifically this family significantly. Unfortunately, they're not able to be here today with us, but our detectives have been in continued conversation with them and keep updating them on this case and where it goes. So at this time, I'd be more than happy to take some questions that you may have.
How How many leads have you guys followed up on up to this point?
So we followed up over 30 leads in this investigation, and leads can be anything from a piece of evidence to an individual. We've interviewed countless individuals, and we'll continue to do that, whether it's the same individuals we go back to see if there's additional information, or if there are new individuals that are identified as possibly having information that could lead to the resolution of this case.
And so far, nothing's been of significant matters?
Yeah, we've had a lot of leads, and we've followed those leads and put together a lot of information. But, one of the things, very bluntly, is disheartening. Not too long ago, we sat down with all of you, with the mother of Samantha Robinson, and she made a plea to this community for folks to come out and please share information they have about her daughter's death. We have received very, very little information since then, and that is tragic.
Why offer this reward now?
This is something that we continue to work with our law enforcement partners, like you heard SAC Metter say. We've worked with the FBI in this case, U.S. Marshals, the ATF, and a variety of other local and state law enforcement partners to make sure that we're bringing all the resources we have to bear. Again, it is unfortunate that we are in a society now where people have to be offered money to come forward with information. My hope for this community is that we would have people do the right thing and simply come forward, because we have a young woman who was left behind, a young child who was literally just driving down the road. So we think it's important to take every step we can to try and encourage folks to come forward with information. And if this $10,000 helps do that, then that's great and helps us bring some justice to Samantha and her family.
Chief, earlier this year, you guys located a handful of individuals. I think this was back in January, February, included a couple minors. Did anything ever come out of that of significance?
So we were able to interview those individuals after identifying them, and with the help of some community members to talk to them. At this point, we've interviewed them. I'm not going to discuss what those interviews did yield or didn't. No charges at this time have been placed against any of them. But again, you heard the special agent in charge Metter say, that we're kind of piecing this information together. And you've all heard me say before, any of these investigations are very complex. We're trying to put a puzzle together. And sometimes people have pieces of information that they may think are not important to a crime, or are irrelevant, or may not really mean anything. And that could be simply the one piece of information that allows us to connect all those dots, to put that puzzle piece together, and ultimately put a successful prosecution together against the individual or individuals responsible for this.
But at this point, it is still believed that it was a stray bullet and not something that was purposeful?
At this time, we don't have any reason to believe that Samantha was a target of this act. We believe it was a stray bullet that unfortunately hit her and killed her.
Chief, you mentioned that you've been in contact with the family of Samantha. Can you give us a little bit of insight as to how they're holding up, how are they taking all this? It's been a little while.
Yeah, so the mother is heartbroken. She's now raising her grandchild and doing the best that she can to do that. I can't say this definitively, but I would imagine, as a grandparent, trying to come in front of things like this at a press conference to try and ask the community to do what they've been asked to do for quite some time has got to be disheartening to her. It's got to be frustrating to her. But she's doing the best she can to raise a young man by herself, and with the help, I'm sure, of other family members too, but without a mother there. And no child should ever have to bury their own parent. And so we're going to do everything we can as a department to continue to support her and that family and that young man as he grows up.
Chief, can you give us any names right now of the person or persons of interest that are still out there? You said before, from early this year, there were no charges against them. Are there any individuals that you can give us their names at this time?